At the start of this century, the seafood industry realized that many of the world's fish stocks were overexploited and poorly managed. And if the industry wanted a secure and reliable supply of seafood, it had to protect this vital natural resource and the environment. Sustainable Fisheries Partnership was formed to help the seafood industry do just that.
For those fisheries that were depleted when we started this work just over 10 years ago, there are now 50% more adult fish alive swimming around in the sea worldwide than there were. So this is a major success story in terms of rebuilding of these key stocks. Whitefish supplies have gone up worldwide. The consumers everywhere are benefiting. They have more fish and it's at a reasonable price. And the fishermen are also doing very well.
Working with McDonald's, Walmart, Sainsbury's, and other leading brands, SFP provided crucial information on the state of fish stocks and piloted improvement projects so that retailers and their suppliers were doing the right thing.
The depth of experience in the employees of the Sustainable Fisheries Partnership is endless, and guidance and advice is priceless.
We look at our fish stocks, the management of the fisheries, and the environmental impact of those fishing practices. Great example of this is the tuna fishery improvement project. We've had great successes improving data logging, improvements on the logbooks, training fishermen, as well as looking at training onboard vessels in fish handling.
Fisheries can have many problems, such as bycatch, a lack of scientific data, and weak management. SFP's fishery improvement projects, known as FIPs or FIPs, provide a template for industry to follow when tackling these problems, and have the same common features regardless of location. It is crucial there is an alliance of all groups involved: fishermen, processors, traders, government, scientists, and communities. There is an independent assessment of the problems in the fishery that need fixing, followed by an agreed action plan. This could involve training fishermen to use logbooks for their catch, changing to better fishing gear, or introducing new rules to protect stocks. The action plan should then be regularly monitored and updated reports publicly available.
I believe FIP approach works. It works through a very clear message from the buyers in the US, Europe, or Australia to their suppliers, to their producers, that they need to work in improving their fisheries. And then when the message is clear and loud to their producers, then they either get together with their partners, or even some of them with their competitors, to actually develop a sensible work plan with a clear timeline and a budget.
SFP does not just work with wild fisheries. Fish farming, aquaculture, now produces half of the world's seafood. Much of this expansion has been unplanned, resulting in outbreaks of disease, pollution, and environmental damage.
So in aquaculture, unfortunately, everyone's aware of the risks, but the changes that are required are quite significant, and they almost never happen until after a disease outbreak has happened, or until after there's been a crisis.
The Aquaculture Improvement Projects, AIPs, piloted by SFP, are based on all the farms in a zone working to agree on disease control, use of chemicals, pollution, and the density of stock and development. These measures will improve the sustainability of fish farming and help in the process of becoming certified by independent eco-labels.
We do want to transfer leadership to industry in these projects as soon as possible. And so we have a very explicit goal in all of our aquaculture improvement partnerships to, once we understand the scale of the problem and who all needs to be at the table, we can then identify whether there is an existing institution that could take the leadership of this project or not. And if there isn't, we go about creating one. And the other piece of this puzzle, in most aquaculture zones, production comes from both very large commercial farms and thousands of small producers, individual pond owners or very small family businesses. And there needs to be, in an aquaculture improvement partnership, needs to engage all the farms in the area, including the small farmers. You know, if you're a buyer and you know that this zone has a good management system in place, you certainly should have more confidence in buying from a small farmer, whether they have a particular farm level certificate or not.
Scientific data is crucial in identifying the need for improvements and monitoring progress, so SFP provides a public online database of fisheries via a website called FishSource. This details the current state of fisheries, along with assessment scores and details of any improvement projects. SFP also provides seafood businesses with carefully tailored data for the products they sell so they can monitor their own performance and give feedback to the supply chain. SFP has already had substantial success and is expanding fast to meet all the challenges ahead. Many fishermen, NGOs, governments, international bodies like the World Bank, and independent certification schemes are working to make seafood more sustainable. SFP brings a unique contribution to these efforts by helping to mobilize an industry that has a direct stake in a productive and secure supply of seafood.
We want everyone to be able to buy sustainable seafood regardless of where they live, what their income is, and really almost regardless of what their interest is. I mean, they should be able to walk into a store and know that the product they're buying is not only safe, not only nutritious, not only good quality, but sustainable as well. It should just be a given. That's what we think the future should be. I think we can get there.